The front door of Los Angeles is getting a multi-billion-dollar facelift. Ahead of the 2026 World Cup and the 2028 Olympics, the city is fast-tracking a total reimagining of how it meets the Pacific. But beneath the anticipation for the new West Harbor development, a persistent anxiety is taking hold in San Pedro. Locals look at the planned steel and glass structures and fear the gritty, authentic character of their working-class town will be lost. Before the boutique hotels and modern food halls were drafted, this was strictly the busiest working port in the country. Generations of dock workers and harbor crews built an identity around heavy machinery and early morning shifts on the water. While international developers spend billions polishing the outside of the waterfront for global tourists, the effort to protect the community's identity is happening quietly, on the inside. A few blocks from the massive harbor cranes sits an unassuming brick building at 363 West 6th Street. It opened in 1922 as a J.C. Penney department store. While the floors above sold Sunday suits, the basement floor held a secret. A trapdoor, concealed beneath 6 inches of solid concrete, remains a physical reminder of Prohibition-era contraband and late-night whispers. Over the next century, the building took on several lives and suffered just as many closures. It was a casualty of a 1948 labor strike. It spent the 1980s as a windowless call center. By the early 2000s, it was a dance studio, until the 2020 pandemic forced the music to stop. When my partner Edwin and I first walked inside, I didn't see a real estate opportunity. I have spent my life as a therapist, trained to look at someone holding it all together and see exactly where they are broken. I stepped inside and felt a patient. Treating a structure like a patient changes the goal of renovation. You no longer try to erase the past with fresh drywall. Instead, you listen to the history, identify the trauma, and begin to heal the wounds. The romantic idea of restoration vanished once the demolition phase began. Tearing into the walls revealed decades of neglect, hidden behind layers of cheap paint and quick fixes. We uncovered electrical wiring snaking through the cavities that had been a fire hazard since 1950. Then we looked up. Previous tenants had painted over the fire sprinklers, layer after layer, until the mechanisms were sealed shut. It was a silent disaster waiting for a spark. As the demolition progressed, the romance of the project evaporated. We were the owners of a dangerous, leaking money pit. This is the psychological toll of deep renovation. You cannot heal an injury by ignoring it. You have to strip away the cosmetic bandages, expose the most dangerous flaws, and confront the rot directly. Resilience arrived with the sound of small wheels on the old wooden dance floor. Our son, Nathan, zipped past us on his scooter, patted a scarred brick wall, and told me, "It's okay, Mommy, I'm fixing it too." At that moment, we made a radical architectural choice. We refused to suffocate the water-damaged timber and the bare, chipped brick behind modern drywall. We wanted the space to feel like a dock worker's handshake, strong, rough, calloused, and undeniably real. We named the project Donn Allan, combining the philosophies of my parents. My mother, Donna, was a psychologist who provided deep empathy, a lantern in the dark. My father, Allan, a cardiologist turned venture capitalist, provided a structural spine of optimistic resolve. The water-damaged timber and raw brick remain visible by design. They are the building's history, proof that the scars of the past are compatible with a functional future. In the basement, where Prohibition crates were once hidden, we built the Voxel Micro Video Labs. The name Voxel is a tribute to my father. Decades ago, he poured his mind and his heart into an ambitious medical imaging technology company. Despite his genius, the venture failed. In the cold calculus of business, they mark that down as a loss. We dusted the name off and placed it on the door of the video lab, treating his original failure as a necessary rough draft. We also rejected the sterile naming conventions of corporate production houses. Instead of booking Studio A, creators record in rooms named after our 12 nieces and nephews and our 7 cats. Every detail, from the names on the doors to the exposed brick, is a deliberate rejection of the anonymous developments being erected along the waterfront. While the port constructs a massive tourist destination to capture global attention, 363 West 6th Street stands as an intimate sanctuary for the people who actually live here. The Voxel Labs exist to provide a microphone for local dreamers and working-class residents, the voices that have historically been told to stay quiet. The technology in this basement allows hyper-local San Pedro stories to cross oceans, reaching a global audience from a room named with love. Billions of dollars can buy a city a shiny new waterfront, but the authentic soul of a community can only be preserved by hand, brick by brick.